Good afternoon. Please be seated. Wow, what a glorious day. It's a beautiful day. The day we've been waiting for a long time. Welcome, and thank you so much for being here for the celebration of the love story of Jason and Danae. You might have noticed something a little different about this wedding. I just walked Danae down the aisle, and now I'm up here talking. If we haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, my name is Dane Denderman, and I'm Danae's dad. Very proud dad, or she would call me Pops. And I'm honored, I'm humbled, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to be officiating today. For those of you, when they first asked me to do this a few months ago, I was a little bit taken aback. Me, I haven't done this before. What do I say? What do I do? And Danae had a couple suggestions for me, but I felt it was my responsibility to do my own due diligence and check it out, study. But I kept going back to what Danae told me. Two things. She goes, just tell them you're my dad and talk about how much you like us as a pair. So I'm like, okay, I think I can do that. So I think we've established I'm her dad. I've got a lot of things to say about why I like them as a pair. But first, I thought I'd share a little bit of their backstory, because some of you may not know what's happened here. So let's talk about their backstory. This is the part I'm going to read now. Danae and Jason met on a dating app in May of 2019. Apparently, they both swapped right, or however that works. Anyway, they matched up and chatted on the app at first, and then on Words with Friends for a couple of weeks. At that point, they were both intrigued enough that they decided to meet in person. So on a Friday night after work, they met for coffee. They found themselves immersed in conversation, and time flew by. After a couple of hours, they felt they needed to continue this conversation, so they went to the Cheesecake Factory for dinner. By the end of the night, they both knew they wanted to get to know each other more and decided to do just that the next day. Their relationship started growing exponentially, and about a month or so later, they pronounced themselves boyfriend and girlfriend. Since then, they have traveled together several times, including to Universal Studios, Crested Butte, Colorado, with two of Jason's cousins and their families, the beaches of Destin, Florida, with Jason's parents, Chicago for Lollapalooza, and their most memorable trip in February of 2021, where against a backdrop of snow-capped mountains in Estes Park, Colorado, Jason dropped to one knee and proposed, and here we are a year later. So now, back to what I like about them as a pair, as Danae requested. So I'm sure most of you know, especially you married folks, it's often the little things, hence the sign over there, that when you look at them cumulatively can have the biggest impact on a long-lasting, fulfilling relationship, much less marriage. Sure, there's going to be major impactful events, but it's really the day-to-day stuff, all the little things that keeps the love alive, so to speak. And I think those are the things that has really sparked their relationship. So here we go. I love how they're so comfortable just being themselves and being goofy sometimes and not caring what other people think about it. I love how on weekends they enjoy going to the farmer's market and cooking together or just playing with their puppy Nev. I love how they enjoy playing all kinds of games together. Their favorite is Water Deep, where they actually keep a running score to see who's winning. I love how Jason distracts Danae from the stresses of her work as a nurse, especially over the last few years. I love how Jason told me that he first realized he loved Danae when he reached a point where he just could not be with her. I love that separately, Jason told me Danae puts him first And Danae told me Jason puts her first. I love how they stay busy, going places, doing things, and it doesn't really matter where they go because they have a good time regardless. Yet they're perfectly content just staying home and chilling out. I love that Danae can just tell, in her own words, she can just tell that Jason loves her so much, even without him having to say it, and that she feels there's no way anyone could love each other as much as they do. I love that Jason told me that the first time he saw Danae, he felt she was even more beautiful than she was in her pictures. I enjoy how they love going to the park and throwing a frisbee or football together. I love how when I've seen them play ping pong, Jason is all about seeing how long they can keep the volley going so they can keep having fun together, not trying to smash the ball 97 miles per hour with topspin on it like when he plays me. This is a good one. I love how a simple mistyped text when one of them was trying to text babe to the other has turned into them calling each other burb, which has since evolved into other derivatives of burb such as burbles, big burb, and little burb. Okay, Jason, I got permission for this next one, so it's going to be okay.
Okay.
Love this one. So I asked each one of them privately, what does the other do that drives you nuts at times? And I just love their responses. Jason said that sometimes Danae leaves crumbs on the kitchen counter when making a sandwich. And when I asked Danae the same question, she said that what drives her nuts is when Jason points out that she left crumbs on the counter. I think for all you married folks, if that's the biggest problem they have, they're going to be just fine. Oh, man. In all seriousness, though, there are a lot of things to love about Jason and Danae being together. I probably could go on and on for quite some time. But for me, and I'm sure I'll also speak for my beautiful wife, Debbie, and Jason's wonderful parents, Dong and Kim, and the rest of our families that have seen them together, we all just love seeing them both being so happy with each other. It's that simple. At the end of the day, as a parent, all you really want for your kids is for them to be happy, to feel fulfilled. You want them to feel loved and be loved, and it feels good knowing that they have this going for them. For those of you who have not had as much of a front row seat to all these things I've been talking about, I hope this has helped you understand why we are here today, why this is an awesome day for our families and for these two. So let's make it happen. Turn the page. Jason and Danae, you're here today to mark the beginning of what will be and also to celebrate what already is. For in truth, many of the components that make up a marriage already exist. In your everyday moments together these past 3 years, you've had many conversations about hopes, promises, your past, your future, your dreams, your values, and your fears. You've said, I love you. You've shared many adventures. You've made concessions, perhaps even had a disagreement or two. You've told each other your stories, some parts of which you may have shared with no one else. What has emerged from these conversations has been the making of a deeply connected bond, a commitment that is uniquely yours. Together you've decided what you want, what you believe, what you hope for, and you want to be together and stay together. You're here today because you have said to one another, I love you, I trust you, I will be here for you when you are hurting, and when I am hurting, I will not leave. In many ways, the marriage is complete. All that's left is the wedding, which is a public declaration of your love and commitment to each other. Today is a day to celebrate what you have built, what you have yet to build with all these people here that love and care about you. They are not only here to bear witness to your commitment, but also to show their support for your marriage. Today, you legally become that which you already are emotionally, a husband and a wife. As husband and wife, you will grow together in mind, heart, and spirit. This mutual growth and sharing will strengthen your relationship more than any spoken or written words. For a marriage is a promise. It's a potential. It's made in the hearts of two people who love each other, and it takes a lifetime to fulfill. Today, you proclaim your commitment not only with all of us in this room, but to the world. So now, I'm going to ask you to take each other's hands. Do you, Jason, take Danae as your wife, joining with her today in spirit, offering her unconditional love and commitment? Do you promise to honor her growth and freedom as well as your own? To cherish and protect her, to love and embrace her both in challenging times as well as in times of joy? If so, respond by saying, I do.
I do.
Do you, Danae, take Jason as your husband, joining with him today in spirit, offering him unconditional love and commitment? Do you promise to honor his growth and freedom as well as your own? To cherish and protect him, to love and embrace him both in challenging times as well as in times of joy? If so, respond by saying, I do.
I do.
Family and friends. As much as Jason and Danae are declaring their love for each other and commitment to each other, it's also important that they have the support from you. So to you, family and friends, and this includes you, wedding party, promise from this day forward to encourage them, love them, offer guidance to them, support them in being steadfast in their promises they're making today. If so, please say, we do.
We do.
Thank you. See all the support you guys have?
Yeah.
Okay, since this is non-traditional, take a look around, all these happy faces supporting you. It's awesome. Okay. All right, so now that all of you have vowed to support this marriage, it's time to get to the best part of this ceremony, which is the part where I stop talking for a moment and let them talk. Danae and Jason have written their own vows to each other, which they will share with each other and with us at this time.
Hey, Blair. My life feels unreal. I often wonder, what are the odds of being born on this earth, growing up with such a loving family, and getting married to the most amazing woman in the universe? I did the actual math. It's roughly 3 times 10 to the 28th power. To put it into perspective, it is more likely that I'll be struck by 3 meteorites or win the Powerball 3 times in my life. And even then, being with you feels like more than 1,000 lottery wins. There's not one singular story I can tell that could sum up why I feel that way, because every moment we spend together amplifies my feelings for you. At Universal, you were fearless. You could wait in line for a Velocicoaster, the theme park's most intense ride, with a look of excitement. Meanwhile, I clutched you with sweaty palms and eyed the nearest exit. In Destin, you were goofy and determined. We invented a game where we had to keep a frisbee on our bodies while walking against the wind, and despite the onlookers, you carried on trying to beat my record for an hour. At Arlo Gray, you were romantic. After waiting all night for the bats, you told me it didn't matter if you couldn't see them because you could see me. The list goes on and on. These moments make up a big part of why I love you so much. But that's not all. Our bond is made even stronger by the way we handle our low points. The open ears, the honest communication, and the understanding are the cherry on top of our relationship. For these reasons, I want to ensure that our love is everlasting by making the following promises to you. I vow to be your light when you need a guide through the dark. I vow to be understanding when you feel most misunderstood. I vow to be loyal and faithful to you. I vow to be patient even when we don't see eye to eye. And above all else, I vow to love you forever.
Thank you, Jason.
I love you. Oh my God.
Okay, Danae.
Babe, moments before you proposed on that beautiful day in Colorado, we were standing silently side by side looking at the view. It was my first time seeing mountains, and I was so happy I could have just stood there with you forever. One moment I was visually mesmerized, and then you started telling me how much you loved me. I was really used to you expressing your love, and I didn't realize what was happening until you were down on one knee asking me to marry you. I can honestly say it was the happiest moment of my life. Sometimes I find myself wanting to relive that day and that trip. But then I realize that I relive it every day that I'm with you. The way you reach for my hand every time we take off in an airplane says more than words could. And every day that I work, I look forward to the moment that I'll walk in the door after and you'll immediately hug me. When you tell me how proud you are to be with me, it makes me feel like everything I've ever been through has been worth it. And while I know that getting married is a big step toward establishing a new chapter, I want to recognize us for our ever-evolving love that led us to this moment. I feel so lucky to be the person who gets to love you and be loved by you forever. I promise to stand right by your side through exciting changes, devastating life events, and everything in between. I'll always be rooting for you, proud of you, and I'll always love you. Over time, our personalities are bound to evolve, but that's part of living. You're perfect, and I love everything about you. So, babe, here's to the future, but also here's to right now.
I'll take that from you.
Okay.
Very nice. Jason, Danae, you've just made promises to each other. Your own promises in your own words. You vowed to take care of each other, to stand up for and alongside each other, to root for and support each other, and to offer a shoulder to lean on during difficult times, and to find happiness in one another. There's a simple premise to each of these promises. You're vowing to be there. You're teaming up and saying to each other that every experience you have, I want you to be a part of. As a symbol of these promises, you have chosen to exchange rings. These rings mark the beginning of an adventure filled with wonder, surprises, laughter, tears, celebration, sometimes grief and joy. They symbolize your lives that are now joined in one unbroken circle. Wear them as a visible reminder of your commitment and your love. Glenn, get the ring, please. Jason, please repeat after me, then place the ring on Danae's finger. I give you this ring as a symbol of my love.
I give you this ring as a symbol of my love.
And as a reminder that I will love, cherish, and honor you.
And as a reminder that I will love, cherish, and honor you.
In all times, in all places, and in all ways, forever.
In all times, in all places, and in all ways, forever.
Danae, please repeat after me, then place the ring on Jason's finger. I give you this ring as a symbol of my love.
I give you this ring as a symbol of my love.
And as a reminder that I will love, cherish, and honor you.
And as a reminder that I will love, cherish, and honor you.
In all times, in all places, and in all ways, forever.
At all times, in all ways, and in all places, forever.
Close enough. Danae and Jason, you have expressed your love for one another through the commitments and promises you have just made. It is with these in mind that I very happily and very proudly, by the power vested in me by the state of Texas, pronounce you husband and wife. I know that you might have kissed a few times before, a couple, or maybe hundreds of times, but this one's going to be different. This is your first kiss as husband and wife. Jason, you may kiss your bride.